Hi, I'm J.C. Cottageville, the director and founder of GBSI. It's a no-kill refuge that we founded in 1988 and went public in 1997. We started off, my son brought 2 dogs home back in '87. Little did I know that we would end up at one point in time housing almost 300 dogs.
I see you're right down here at this end of this nice road. What kind of, how big is the property here?
The property is 5 acres.
5. And you welcome donations to your cause, don't you?
Folks, it's we are 501c3, eleemosynary. In other words, we are both state charities and federal charities, registered as a bona fide charity and animal rescue.
So anybody that donates to you is
fully tax deductible.
Fully tax deductible. Well, let's just take a tour around and see some of your animals here. You mentioned something about this little German Shepherd over here, this big German Shepherd, I should say. It's a male?
He's a male. Dakota Sky. You've been swimming today. You got your water filthy, girl.
Who's that little dog there?
This is Maggie. We named her Maggie.
Maggie. What's Maggie's story?
Maggie was just found in the middle of a hunting club. And they brought her to us instead of shooting her. We was thankful that they did that.
Well, that was good of them.
We have Dakota Sky. Come here. He's a sweet boy. He loves fellas, but he's not too partial. Apparently a lady has abused him or hurt him when he was a little fella.
Well, you obviously love your animals.
Oh.
Let's take a little tour around here.
Sure, no problem.
You got, I see the enclosures are what, hog wire with?
This is actually dog wire.
Dog wire?
That's what they call it.
Right. They look like there's plenty of space for them to run around and dig holes and have a good time. You know, they're not confined.
Well, what we did with this place, we got smaller. These pens were a lot larger, but when we got up to close to having 300 dogs, we were running out of space, so we started splitting pens, and split a pen, and split a pen.
Right.
And it got a little bit larger, but then what we did was we let them run. We had open areas for them to run in and then put them back. But we always tried to keep them at least with some space to move around in. We used to have a lot more trees out here. We try to give them an environment for a dog would love to live, where he can dig a hole, you know, get under a tree, chase a squirrel. What's happened around here, though, the dogs and the squirrels have been along, some of them have been here so long together, they eat out of the same bowl now, no one bothers nobody. So.
Now, if someone were to donate to your cause, is there a P.O. box or an address where they can contact you?
Sure.
Or
Make it simple. It's GBSI Animal Refuge, and it's P.O. Box 394, Cottageville, South Carolina, 29435.
29435. Okay, we're going to walk around a little bit more here.
Alrighty.
I'm kind of training the eye over here to this. There's is that a little dachshund over there?
That's a little dachshund. That's Stretch.
That's Stretch?
That's Stretch.
Tell me Stretch's story.
The economy caused the family to have to move in with another family, and he became a burden in the household.
You mentioned something when I was speaking to you earlier about the destruction rate of dogs in Colleton County.
Our animal shelter, as it is, puts down 90% of the animals that are taken in.
That dogs and cats?
Dogs and cats. My wife has spent her retirement. We cashed her retirement in. We spent our money for our burial, keep the place open. We have gone through all our CDs, all our savings, and everything else. You know.
Is it cheaper than rescuing AIG or one of the big banks?
Well, yeah. I'm telling you what. You know, I wonder sometimes. You know, you see this money going. You know, you say, you know, what we couldn't do if we spread that in a little bit different direction.
What's Whoopi's story?
Whoopi, abandoned, just left. Whoopi's 5 years old now.
How long have you had him?
Had him from a pup. We got him and his mama and the daddy all together. Just picked up and moved and left them there at the house to fend for themselves, or in the yard. So that's how we got there.
Let's see now. We got you.
That's Champ. That's the boss.
The boss.
Huh.
It looks like to me like he's getting between us and you, so he's doing what he's supposed to be doing.
Camp, you my big boy? Huh? You haven't talked to me today. Oh, you've been terrible. You had a bad day. Oh, no, I want to hear all about it later, okay? Yeah, I sure do. You're going to tell me about it, too, I know. Yeah, we'll do that over supper. Handsome. That's right.
I see some little puppies lined up over here. This dog was burned, you say?
Yeah, it was burned.
Somebody just set fire to it.
She's doing good. She's coming back. Wonder if she'd been me, I wouldn't like people at all. This is my little girl. You know what? If someone wanted a good puppy, this little girl is excellent. And why I say, look at the trust she gives me. And when I first got him, I know they hadn't been socialized, and I come out here in my shorts and flip-flops and t-shirt, and I forgot what those little nails and what those little teeth were like. I laid down on this hay I had stretched out over here, and oh my gosh, I didn't know I put myself through so much pain so quickly. Fundraising I go through, you know, I fall short. I get enough for all the food we need, but don't get enough that extra needed for the veterinarian care that's necessary.
I see the dog. You say the dog that you're holding now is blind?
He's totally blind. He don't see anything. Believe it or not, he outmaneuvers me on the property. And he was found walking down the center line of a road. Two ladies found him and brought him to me. And we tried to find his owner. Never did. So Mom and I, we walked around with sticks, and he held on the sticks with his mouth, and we stamped our feet. And he's learned 5 acres. And he can cover the 5 acres better than I can.
And he's totally blind?
And he's totally blind.
How old is he?
He's 15 years old.
15 years old. Well, it looks like he's found himself a good home.
Well, Samson is loved, and he had a buddy who was 17 that passed away just recently, was another dachshund, a miniature dachshund. His name was Oscar, and Oscar used to look out for Samson. And that's another way he learned how to get around the property, because Oscar would walk, and he would hold his head right next by the tail, and he would lead him around. You'd be surprised how animals take care of animals.
Looks like he's adapted to his blindness.
Scooter is buried right underneath.
So he's buried right down in here?
I guarantee this is exactly where he's at. That pine tree is sitting here, and that pine tree is sitting there.
And I bet that was his favorite spot.
And he was crippled. He had no back legs to work with. He had leukemia, and so he lost the use of his back legs. He drug himself from a wood pile back over there, back to where the backside of that trailer was, in a rainstorm to catch up where the mama had moved all the rest of the litter and left him there. And I caught him just about when he made it to the corner. I said, if you're willing to go that far, I'm going to take care of you as long as you want to live. And we can keep you alive. And we went to the vet, and we worked with him, and he lived 2.5 years. And believe it or not, it'll humble you. We put him on one of those little go-kart things, but what he loved to do more than anything, we would take pillows and lay it in the yard, and so he could sit upright with no problem. And we'd turn the puppies loose. He would play with them puppies until he'd wear himself slap out. And he'd fall asleep.
I bet you miss him too, don't you?
Yeah.
It's hard to bury it.
Oh, when I adopt one, I cry like a baby.
Yeah.
But I know he's going to a good home. I know that. Listen, I'm not a kind person when you come to adopt me from me. I know I make you. You're going to have to convince me that you really want to take care of that animal and you want to take on the responsibility. You have to convince me of that. You
know, I had a deacon in a church once tell me that God didn't have a special place for animals, and I left that church not because of that, but it was one of the number of reasons. And you know, I think there's a lot of dogs I'd rather be with than some human beings that I've met. That's for sure.
If people want to know, and I've read the Bible a few times, I am a Christian. Animals do go to heaven because they talk about animals in heaven in the Bible. So they must go. How do they get there? God can put them wherever He wants to. That's His to do with.